Okay, so this reading is from day 17, which is Genesis 16, 17, and 18. So Genesis 16 through 18. In Genesis 16, Sarai and Abram still doesn't have a kid. So Sarai told Abram to sleep with her servant Hagar. Abram does sleep with Hagar, and Hagar becomes pregnant. Sarai says that when Hagar became pregnant, Hagar started treating her differently. So Sarai started treating Hagar mean or mistreating her. So from that mistreatment, Hagar left. So, so she just was like, okay, I'm finna take my kid and leave, because Sarah don't want her there anyway. Sarah prefers her to be away anyway. But God told Hagar to go back and to name her kid Ishmael. And she does have a son named Ishmael, and Abram is 86 when Ishmael is born. So that's pretty much all that happens in Genesis 16. And Genesis 17, Abram name becomes Abraham. And God tells him that his descendants will be many. God had been telling him this a couple of times at this point. However, I felt the way because it's like he kind of moved the post a little bit by requiring that all of the boys be circumcised. So it was just like, I'm going to give you all these descendants. That's what he said. So Abraham was going off that, right? And then now he's like, I'm going to give you all these descendants, but you got to circumcise all the boys. All the boys in your house, all the boys that you bought, everybody got to get circumcised. So, they got to get circumcised at 8 days old. And so Sarai name becomes Sarah. And God tells them that they will have a son named Isaac. And Sarah laughed at this thought, because I think at the time that Isaac will be born, Abraham will be 100 and she'll be about 90. So yeah, she thought that was a joke. She thought it was funny. And then Abraham, under that commandment or under that covenant with God, circumcised everybody. And it says that Abraham was 99 when he got circumcised, and Ishmael was 13. And when I read that, I couldn't help but think about Shameless, how Carl got circumcised when he was about 13, 14. He found out everybody else was circumcised and he wasn't, so he went to go get himself circumcised. That's just a side thing that came to my mind when I was like, Ishmael was 13. But yeah. Genesis 18. Genesis 18 was actually when Sarah laughed. I apologize for that. So she laughed because, she thought about having a child at this old age. And that's when the question came up, is anything too hard for the Lord? And so that was that. Now, the Lord said that, or told Abraham that there was an outcry from Sodom and Gomorrah, and he was going to go see what was going on. And if he found, it as bad as the people were complaining about, then he was going to basically obliterate the town. And Abraham was kind of interceding for the town and the people, and was like, well, if you find 50 righteous people, can you spare it? So God was like, yeah. So then he was like, well, what about 40? If you could find 40 people, will you spare it? Just basically negotiating. And he negotiated it all the way down to about 10 people. And the Lord said if he could find 10 righteous people, he'll spare it. And that's where it leaves off at in Genesis 18. So, yeah. This Bible, very, very much so interesting and very good to me. So, we'll see what happens next.